The opioid crisis is responsible for more than 43,000 deaths just in 2016. That's an average of 115 opioid overdose deaths every day. And according to the best estimates, opioids will kill another 52,000 Americans this year alone and up to 500,000 people in the next decade. Yet the leadership of this country not only knew about the problem, but they refused to take action. But out of all the stories of inaction, none of them compare to the fact that Eric Holder, yes, Obama's Attorney General, had all of the evidence he needed to prosecute the white-collar thugs behind the opioid epidemic. But instead of holding him accountable, he let him go with one of the weakest slaps on the wrist in history. Joining me to talk about this Eric Holder story and other stories that are out there this week is Farron Cousins. Farron, you and I both have covered this story over the last couple of years, and it's like a story that disappeared. Here we have Eric Holder getting ready to run for president, if you believe some of the noise that's out there. This story hasn't been told. So, the quick on this story is Eric Holder had McKesson, had everything he needed on McKesson, who is, by the way, the #1 opioid distributor in America. DEA was saying to him, it's time to prosecute. We need a perp walk. Basically, they were talking about criminal action. Secretly, something else is happening. What is it?
Well, first and foremost, we had this DEA team that had been working based out of Colorado for several years during the Obama administration. It included 9 field divisions working with 12 U.S. attorneys' offices across 11 different states. Their task was find out who was responsible, what's going on, and why McKesson let it happen. So finally, they finalized this report. They have everything. They say we're going to fine them $1 billion, and more importantly, going to be the first ever actual criminal prosecution for these pharmaceutical executives. You know, people pushing bad drugs, bad pills. They wanted to set an example.
Which would have closed it. Now understand, this all started happening about 7 years ago.
Right.
What everybody misses is the height of the opioid crisis was taking place while Eric Holder was in charge. Now, this is the ugly, ugly side of this, and I think most people miss this because they don't know the connections. But you had the attorney who was working on behalf of McKesson, Hobart, Jeff Hobart. He is from the same law firm that Eric Holder's from. They worked together up in Washington, D.C. They both handled white-collar crime together. Jeff is right down the road, just right down the aisle from Eric Holder while they're working together. Okay, Eric Holder then gets his appointment to the Attorney General's office, and all of a sudden, Hobart shows up as the lead lawyer for McKesson. So the DEA is saying, we got to deal with McKesson, need to shut him down. And all of a sudden, the two friends, the two pals, both of them working for the same law firm. Hobart is with McKesson right now as we speak. He's representing McKesson. So these two buddies work out a deal. What's the deal?
Well, the deal is we're not going to prosecute. We're not going to take away their license like the DEA agents said we had to do. Basically, cut that $1 billion fine down to a few, maybe 100 million, maybe 200, whatever it is. It's not going to be $1 billion. And no prosecutions. We're going to let them continue to distribute these pills all over the place, including sending millions of pills to areas with only a few thousand residents.
A few thousand? How about a few hundred? Kermit, West Virginia. This town has a population of 400 people. Okay, McKesson was shipping in 2 million drugs over a period of 2 years. 2 million drugs into little Kermit. They've got a stockpile of drugs. You got 400 people. Here's what McKesson knew. Here's what Holder knew. Here's what the attorney for Holder knew, for McKesson knew. They knew that this extra glut that was supposed to be shipped into this little town of Kermit ended up in this big stockpile of pills, right? 400 people, some of them children. They're not using millions and millions of pills like was being shipped in by McKesson. So what ends up happening is this glut develops. It's like a mountain of pills. Then you have the Oxy Express that's coming up from Florida all across the United States. They're pulling through there, unloading as many pills as they can from this little town of Kermit and driving on to other parts of the country. That's the kind of conduct that was happening not just in Kermit, West Virginia. It was happening all over the United States. They had them dead to rights. They had all the information that they needed to know. Millions of pills. One town, there was 6 million pills shipped into a town of 1,700 people. 6 million pills. Those pills came from McKesson. So, I don't know what you say to an attorney general. The guy's in charge, right?
Right. Well, as you pointed out, Hobart was with Covington Burling, and he started, I believe in 2000 is when he came to Covington Burling. Eric Holder comes there in 2001. So these guys work together. Down the hall, same building, same floor. Okay, these are the same. They see each other every day.
Yeah.
8 years this goes on. And then Holder becomes Attorney General. Hobart still representing these people. They meet again, as you said, at this, what are we going to do about McKesson? Oh, hey!
How about a sweetheart deal?
How are your kids doing? I used to buy their fundraising stuff in the break room.
Okay, here's where it really gets ugly. You know where Holder is now?
He's right back.
Back at Covington Burling. You got it.